Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of our conversation with Shannon Hollywood, the Behaviour Consultant. If you haven't already listened to part 1, check it out where you normally get your podcasts. Now back to me, Mrs. O, Una and Shannon in the studio. Don't beat yourself up with the big stick of mama.
No,
Definitely not. Definitely not,
No.
Ciara.
And it is having that, it's negotiating, in our club, we're trying to teach him negotiating skills. Do you know, he can say, Mum, can I play the game until he's 15? The night the game's good, can I play on till 11 o'clock? And we'd be going, well, you're normally finished at 10, Podrick. Maybe midweek would 10:30 suit you? And you go, do you know what, Mum, 10:30's actually good. And he's going away happy and I'm going away happy, rather than me thinking, and he's coming down book and dictating to us, telling us what to do.
Yeah.
And you're negotiating and trying to work together on this, and you're developing a skill. Because if I did all for him and he's not going to learn, and the same with my daughter. And I can remember doing training before, and I got the biggest thing to learn. And the fact is that I am some days going to be a shit hot mama. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go away and I think I dealt with that. But like yourself, dealing with or speaking to your son regarding this Harry Potter. And there's days I'm going to be 10%. There's days it could be 60. It's just some, and even measuring that and being gentle to yourself. And as you say, going back to your child and going, I'm afraid I wasn't the best. I didn't deal with that very well. I'm human as well. And sharing that with them. And I think, is that a skill that we can help at a very early age for them?
Absolutely.
Moving into adulthood.
Absolutely. And the more you role model that, like going back and repairing and doing all of that, you're teaching them. All eyes are on you from their little. So they're watching you. They're learning how to be a human being. They need to know that being a human being doesn't mean being perfect.
Yeah.
They need to know that being a human being means not getting it right.
Yeah.
And feeling big feelings too, that it's okay. Parents will say to me, I had all my tears from them. I'm like, why?
Oh, Jesus, I share
why?
them with
So I think there's a balance there. It's, you're not looking to your child to support you in your emotion, but you are saying, look, I'm feeling really sad today. I'm going to have a good cry. I'm going to feel better. I'm feeling really anxious today. So I'm maybe going to go for a walk and try to calm myself down, because you are teaching self-regulation skills.
Yes.
And I think the really important thing to note is that none of us have been taught these self-regulation skills in early childhood. Like, nobody sat down with me and said, you know what, Pat, it's okay for you to be angry. Like, being angry is really normal.
You're not allowed to be angry. You weren't allowed to be.
Yeah. So I have
had
to do a lot of work on myself to be able to develop positive self-regulation skills. I would have shouted and slammed doors and huffed and banged things and thrown things. But I've really worked on all of that because I know that these are the things I want to role model to my kids in a healthy way. But that's taken a lot of work. And it's like what you said earlier, Una, you're working with the parent around their emotions.
You are.
Absolutely. Parents need support to understand their own emotions before they can start teaching their kids. So it really is like giving parents a big hug in that sense and allowing them to feel what they're feeling, so that they can allow their kids to feel that too.
Exactly. And what is it you're seeing commonly coming to you, Shannon? What's that common question? Maybe there's not a common question, but is there a thing that you're finding is repeatedly common?
I think it is about expectations.
Yeah.
Parents are coming to me with their child's behaviour and they're quite overwhelmed by it. And it's like, how do I stop this, or how do I fix this? But a lot of the time what they're telling me is completely normal for where their child is at developmentally.
Yeah, and it's like expectations that the parent has on the child.
Yeah, for it to be like perfect, or for them, or what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
There's actually, you're not doing anything wrong. And I would always say to parents, see that 0 to 7 age, you're very unlikely to see any of the the outcome of your efforts. See, when they hit 7, their wee thinking brain comes online. They're more able to put into practice some of the maybe things that you've been teaching them. But 0 to 7 is just, you may strap in. It's just strap in and just, we are all winging it.
Yeah.
But then when they hit 7, you're like, oh my word, this has changed. And just as a wee side note, 7 till 11 leads you into a false sense of security. And then 11's like everything. We're back to stage 1 again.
We're back to attitude, are we?
We're way back. And I know that now because of everything around brain development. So if there's a parent listening to this who's struggling with their child's behaviour, feeling overwhelmed by it, find out as much as you can about brain development, honestly, because it will change the way you think about their behaviour.
Is there any simple website? Is there anything, or is there something yourself maybe that you have that you could signpost a mum to or dad to
do
read
offer
up?
like wee sessions that will be online and that.
Brilliant.
I do have one coming up before Christmas, but even like a simple Google, you can get there's a guy called Dan Siegel. He was written a book called The Whole Brain Child. So Dan Siegel does the hand brain model on YouTube, but you can go and access. Now, mine's is better. I'm just going to put that out there. So,
Yes.
like, you know,
Do that, exactly.
mine's is more relatable.
You're coming
Dan is a way
grassroots and
on. Like,
local level.
he's absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm coming at a very very real level.
and
Whereas
that's important.
Dan is doing very important work, but I just think maybe it's not pitched in the right way.
Yes,
You know? So,
I get that.
But
Sure, he's a man. How would I?
exactly. So, but Dan is free and on YouTube. So, I would recommend.
Or
you can-
even just like Shannon's Facebook page, and you'll get tips and stuff there. Because even that post last night has really got me thinking.
It has, but don't go.
No, I'm not going to go
with the
back
big
and
stick of mama
beat myself
guilt.
up with
Yeah.
it. But,
This is about cocooning yourself
Yeah.
and going, okay, that's a bit of information that I have now. I can work with that.
Yeah.
And thanks for that, because I'm going to go in and think about that.
it'll be one for the back pocket to have for further down the line.
Yeah.
Because
And just sit
it's
and
going to come up again. Like,
but that comes up
all the time.
all the time. And you know, and it is about you allowing yourself to be gentle, because we are so hard on ourselves.
Brutal, isn't it?
Compare leads to despair.
Yeah.
The school gates, there's a hell of a lot of comparing going on. And often in conversations in different circles of friendships, or not even friendships, people love to boast and host.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, compare and despair. Compare leads to despair. You know, my child is my child. There's only one of my child, you know, Caitlin Podrick, there's only one of them in this world. But definitely what you're saying is the fact of ages and stages. I think that is it's nearly like a map.
Yeah.
And even the parents even could go back and look at that map and look at where, because I know my cub is 15 now and he's going to sleep more. And that's something that you pointed out in the workshop. And because his brain is changing, you know, and you said that they don't become an adult to what? Age 20 something?
23 to 25
Right.
is the age when you can reasonably expect your child to behave in all the ways that you want them to.
So there you go.
Boy, about I think my husband then he's a bit delayed because he's coming 51, and definitely no, we haven't reached that stage yet, Shannon.
Well, a lady did tell me the other day that there is new research, and I haven't got eyes on it yet, so I can't say for sure. But there is new research coming out now to suggest that it's 30.
Eamon's missed that wee gap too, so he has.
And like social media and all, and all is going to be hard on the wee ones, isn't it? Because they're not social media, but the platform that they're constantly on the phone. I mean, I am useless at iPads and all. If I handed it to a 3-year-old, they would do it better for me. I mean, I am.
Oh, definitely.
I am old, like so I was told this morning. I'm old, and there is a difficulty in trying to, as you say, always be a perfect parent. And often I have found myself saying stuff to my kids when they were younger, and you know, and I hate the way you do this, and I hate this, and I hate that. And I have had to change that, and that's because I went and did a bit of work on myself and just educating myself a bit more. And it would be that behaviour. It's that behaviour I'm not happy with Podrick or Caitlin. It's that behaviour. And it's rather that, because it's not the person I hate.
Yeah.
I love them dearly. I've unconditional love. I can't change that now. You know, I'm going to always have that connection. But some of the behaviours, and I'm hearing just exactly what you've said, the more you're talking and bring it into the home, you're going to hear it back. I hear it back now.
Yeah.
They're saying to me,
absolutely.
Mummy, I don't like your behaviour. Or Podrick would say, see the way you spoke to me. What would the support together Mummy say about that? And I turn around and go, well, if I book and tell them what you were at, they would be standing beside me, cheerleading me on. But you know, you can hear it now because it's been brought us in the house, that kind of language, that kind of understanding.
And you're teaching them to be assertive.
Oh,
you're teaching
yeah.
them actually to not put up with somebody treating you in a way that's not okay.
Yes.
And that they can say that and they can speak up for themselves. And I wish somebody had taught me that.
Exactly, because we were always told to shut up and
be
sit
quiet,
back.
to be quiet,
Children should be
or-
seen and not heard. Well, actually, no, stand up for yourself.
Yeah, and like it is about teaching them the way to do that in a very polite and
Yes,
assertive way,
exactly.
to say like, I feel this whenever you do that. I need. Do
So
you know,
using
like,
your I statement
Uh-huh.
rather than the you.
Yes,
Because the you
completely.
leads you pointing the finger,
Yeah.
and then that other person gets
Defensive.
defensive, don't they? So you're right, that I statement is a nicer way
Complete.
of delivering a message. And for us mummies and daddies even to use it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, that's probably one of the ways that I've changed my parenting, just in terms of like, if something's really bothering me, I'm getting frustrated with behaviour. I feel frustrated when you won't put on your shoes when I ask you to. I need you
So
to get on
rather
your
than
shoes
saying
right now.
what
Um,
I used to say before, you're not putting on your shoes and you're really annoying me.
just get them shoes on. Come on now. Do you know, like, you're just kind of like dismissing everything that's going on, but
Exactly.
you're kind of defining yourself. And this, I remember whenever my little girl was young, and I read about defining yourself instead of defining them. And it said about when you're putting them to bed, and what do we do when we're putting kids to bed? You're so tired, pet. You're so tired. You need to have a good night's sleep. And she'd be like looking at me like, I'm not tired at all. Like,
You're tired.
you are absolutely speaking nonsense here. So I'd be putting her into bed, and I used to do this every night. And I read something somewhere, and I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to define myself. So I'd be putting her to bed, and I was saying, you know what, pet, I know you're not feeling completely tired, but I just need a wee break. So I need to go downstairs and just chill out for a wee while on my own. So you lie there, have a wee look through some books and the pictures, and I'll come back up and check on you after. And she's go to bed, no bother.
Aye.
Because I was telling her she was tired. She was
You
like,
were
"I'm not."
telling her how she was feeling.
You know, not acknowledging her wee
No.
feeling at all. So when you start defining yourself and what you need instead of defining them, it just changes the landscape a wee bit.
Very good. Yeah, I
Brilliant.
totally get that. There was a thing even that we're noticing. A lot of mummies were saying that they're not enjoying motherhood. They thought they would be this fun, loving Egypt of a mummy, having the crack and all. And it was something we would talk about in the office. We were just chatting about it this morning. I can remember way back when the kids were a wee bit younger, and I sat down with them, and things were just getting a bit hot and heavy in the house with me. I felt on the edge all the time. I felt like I was just agitated and peeved off. And we sat round we have an island, and we sat round the island. We had a cup of tea. The kids were probably, might have been in P7 first year. Actually a bit younger than that. And I'd said to the kids, when you think of daddy, what words would you use? So I had a big sheet. No, actually I'm lying. I didn't have a big sheet. I had chalk, because we would write it on the island. It was a black island. And Caitlin's was fun, tickles, tells jokes, and Egypt, and you know, and all of these lovely fun words that were used about dad. Dad loves playing tickles with us and stuff like that. And then it came, mummy. When you think of mummy, what do you think? Shout out some words. And I was, of course, I was caring. Mummy made the dinner. Mummy made sure that we got hugs. Mummy made sure that we got into the car safe. Mummy made sure. And I stood back, and my husband turned round, and his face. And I says, Michael, if we were going to draw a character, what character would you draw on your page? That the kid said. He says, a clown, in a clown. Fun clown in Egypt. What about mine? Health and safety officer. Yeah. Do you know, everything I was doing was ensuring the kids were safe, and I wanted, and I said to them, but here, I need to speak to you here, and I'm glad we're all kids. Mummy needs to have a bit of fun, and daddy, we need to share the health and safety role.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you
To be
know,
able to enjoy
and
it.
that was a massive aha moment. And often I need to go back to that, I think, again, because often I do get so consumed with the well-being of the household that I lose me, the sense of me in the middle of it. And then dad's the crack, which I'm so lucky. You know, they're so lucky to have that. But I'm a bit of crack. You know, I love fun.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm with the girls where we have a bit of hula.
Yeah.
I'm a different... Why can't I bring that into the house? Do you find...
100%, and this is me and my husband as well, like absolutely. But I always made a conscious effort from the time my kids were born that I was going to be fun. Like, I was going to remember to have fun. Now, a lot of the time I'll forget the fun, and I'll have to come back and be like, right, I need to find that again.
This is Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, and we couldn't bring the podcast to you today without the support of Moody Activewear. Moody Activewear creates high quality, functional activewear so that you can feel good doing the things you love. They don't just support your ass, they support your head as well, as they donate 100% of their profits to support women's mental health, such as Support Together. Visit moodyactivewear.co.uk.
we have a mental load as a mummy, and like I'm not taking away from men and men's roles or responsibilities within the home, but women do seem, the majority of women that I speak with, and me myself, we carry a mental load. And funny, I was out for lunch with my husband last week, and I asked him, do you think about home whenever you're at work? And he was like, no, not at all. And I was like anything, like would you be thinking that one of the kids had a birthday party, or there needed to be a present bought, or somebody's shoes had got too tight and they needed to get new shoes, or maybe somebody didn't have a hat for the winter, so you needed to buy that. They needed new lunch boxes. Like, would you think about that stuff? And he was like, it wouldn't even enter my headspace. So women are running with this never-ending mental load that you don't switch off. There's not a switch on this. When you go to work and you come home, there might be a switch there, but there's no switch on the mental load. And what a lot of women are trying to do now is manage this mental load along with work. So when we get home, it's like, I just need to get through these things. You know, we need to get dinner done. We need to get this done, because you can see 50 steps ahead. You know, so you're like, where's the time for fun?
Yeah.
So that comes back, like, as you rightly done with your husband, Una, as a conversation with your husband. And like for me and my husband, I was like, he can't ever take away the mental load. It's not the way he's wired. And I'm not expecting that of him.
Yeah.
But what he can do is he can start doing some practical tasks to take that out of my mental load. So my husband is responsible now for putting all the clothes washing away. He's responsible for picking up and putting away the shopping each week. So like these practical things that he can do that I don't need to think about anymore. Brilliant. So then that gives me more space, and more space for being a fun mum.
Yeah. So that's working in partnership, isn't it?
Working together.
And having that communication. Yeah. But often we don't have that. And it was great that you were able to sit down over dinner and have that conversation. But often we have this conversation when we're burnt out and we're agitated and we're peeved off.
But Una, that conversation has been going on like it's on repeat. It's on a cycle that happens. Oh my God, that's been happening ever since we got married. Like, and we burn out every so often. Well, actually, he doesn't, I do, and then I get really mad. I'm like, you do nothing in the house, and and into that cycle again. Do you know, when actually he does, and he's great, but we go into this cycle, so it's nearly like we have to press a reset button every so often, you know, because we fall back into these clearly defined roles, and it's
you just
very
need reminded.
overwhelming. Yeah, you need reminding.
And how do you bring fun into it? What's the trick when we come home from work and we're then going in? Is it that do we stop for 5 minutes, give them all hugs, and sit, you know, and it's great. How do you get on your day? And then, like, what? How do we? Because you're often trying to deal with that, and they're trying to tell you their bits and bobs that happened or whatever, which every right to do so. And then we're trying to cook the dinner.
Light the fire and cook the dinner.
Light the fire. Exactly, Ciara. Light the fire, cook the dinner, and throw a wash on. Like,
I think there's an expectation if you're going to be fun, it's going to take a lot of time, or like, you know, it's going to take all evening. You know, like, I'm going to be fun, I really have to make a conscious effort to do it. You know,
that's right. Yeah.
Whereas like coming through the door and tickling them as they walk in.
How do I program fun? How do I make time for fun?
You know,
but
like,
you're right. It's even having tickles when you're
having a tickle coming through the door, stealing their hat, or you know, like, you know, like my little girl wants to race me all the time. She's 3. She's like, race you to the door. So like, it's wee things like that, and maybe saying to yourself, I'm going to press the pause button for like literally 5 minutes when I get into the house, and maybe just have a chat or a tickle, or, you know,
I think
something.
I've tried to do the fun whenever we're in the car.
Yeah.
So I'll say, if I see somebody across the road, I will try and run them over. I'll try and run them over, and or like, no, Mummy, don't. Or else if we see somebody, I'm like, we'll race him, and they love that. But that's where I get the fun.
I will. Because
that's when we're in the car together, because there's doesn't be much time for fun at home. But when we're going somewhere, it's like, right. Yeah. This is where we bring it in, and this is where we have a funny joke, or I'll start singing, and I'm like, I'm not the best singer, and they're like, no, Mummy, and she's usually sitting nodding saying, yes, Mummy, but the boys are like, oh, for fuck's sake, no way.
See, I think I've become awkward and fun, because I am a fun person, but around my kids, I've become a wee bit awkward with it.
Do you think it's because they've got older?
Probably. That's probably what it is they've become older. And they want to see that fun out of me, and I want to be that fun, but I am, and I need to sit with it and go, just let your sillies out. Now, we have talked about it in the podcast. Gemma, a girl that was working with us, call her Gem. She is definitely the fun. She brought the fun in, and these two are Egypts, and then I'm acting Egypt with these, and you know, and it really does help. your day, you know, and I need to bring that more into that I'm not an embarrassment to my kids. Do you know, I can go the whole extreme, you know,
and I don't want to go anywhere. Yeah.
No, I don't want mummy near me.
That's a very normal age and stage too. And I distinctly remember it. I remember it, like not wanting to go into town with mummy. I remember being in town with her one day, and she suggested going into Old McDonald's. I don't know if any of you remember Old McDonald's.
Oh yes.
But it was like the spot where everybody went on a Saturday, and I was like, absolutely not, like no way. So like I think you maybe go through a stage where the fun is interpreted as something else.
See, that's what I mean, and that's maybe why I'm holding back a bit, because I don't want my kids to be embarrassed. But there's nothing wrong with being embarrassed.
You know what? Like playing a computer game with them, like you were saying about your
my cub.
Yeah, just loving computer games. Like literally letting him kind of like watch you play the computer game, like for a bit of crack. Do you know what I mean? So like meeting him where he's at, you know, because that's what he likes, or that's what he enjoys. It's just maybe the landscape of it changes a wee bit.
I think that's what I'm going to take away. We haven't done how have you filled your cuppa? So how do you fill your cuppa?
How do you fill your cuppa, Shannon?
I think the way in which I change my cuppa changes all the time. Honestly, I learn something new or
try something new.
And it definitely changes all the time. I have a good friend who I vent to constantly. Like, and if I don't see her for a period of time, I definitely feel frazzled. Like I feel it. I can feel the stress levels building. Probably this week, yesterday, I was going to go and pick up the kids from school because I was off. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let Niall go and do that. And I'm going to have a bath. So I just chilled in the bath for a couple hours while they were at the park. And it was just bliss. So
lovely.
That recharged me, ready for the week ahead.
Yeah. Una Mary, how you kept your cuppa filled this week?
Well, it's my birthday coming now this weekend. But like yourself, it's your birthday today. But you're much, much younger than me. And I'm trying to read the house out a bit because I find I'm cluttered. The office is lovely, but home there's too much clutter. So my daughter, Caitlin, had encouraged me, thank God for her. And we started decluttering the front bedroom because the front bedroom is just like fire and fire and fire. And open the door and fire ringing. So I started decluttering.
Oh, and that declutters your mind.
Honest to God, it does help. Now, I'm effing and blinding like as I'm doing it, but it's the best therapy ever. I'm thumping and humping and feeling sorry for myself that I have to do it, but it definitely is helping me.
Oh, aye.
What about you, Ciara?
Well, I found over the last few days that laughter fills my cuppa. Should it be with the Wayne? Should it be with the girls in the office? Should it be with Eamon? Because he does crack some jokes. He does. But no, laughter definitely. Laughter and fun and have an open, honest conversations and not being afraid to say, you know what, I'm having a fucking shite day. Or there's something not right. There's something a wee bit funny here. Girls talk to me. Like just sitting down chatting.
And we've been given this gift, haven't we, as humans? We can communicate.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Laughter is like, and it's catching because if I started to laugh and then Gemma started to laugh because she was laughing at my laugh and then Una was laughing at my laugh.
But then the part that I really pee myself now, and that's the problem. It gets a wee bit. Anyway, that's a subject for another day. We can smell. Can you smell the cheese, Shannon?
I might have to start getting new book dears. I think I went through nearly all of these.
Seriously? You have to go to mama jokes.
Why do they say be there or be square?
Don't know.
Because you're not around.
Right.
That's very good. I do like that. It's not like the elephant one. The elephant one a few weeks back really just
you nearly choked on your
nearly spat my tea out. So
what do you call a boat full of buddies?
Don't know.
A friendship. No.
Boat full of buddies.
It took me way too long there.
I know.
Get that? Friendship.
We have
buddies as in buddies as a. I'm thinking of chip or crisp buddies. I'm always thinking of food.
What do you call a snake without any clothes on?
It's naked.
Shannon!
First time ever our guest has took the answer.
Yes, that should be like a thing in every week now.
But like Top Gear when they were doing around the course, Shannon got it. She got that well done.
Very good.
All right.
I think that's enough gears for today. So. Thank you so much, Shannon. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having
Shannon,
me.
you've been a pure dote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, Brought to you by me, I'm the host, Mrs. O, Ciara O'Gowan, and my co-hosts Una Leonard and Gemma Cassidy. Today we are supported by Moody Activewear and produced by 9874 Creative.